La. Click it. Can I move the guitar? Can I angle myself? Okay, cool. Oh, I got a cramp in my leg. I am excited to be on the internet talking guitars. Cool. And now that I'm going to talk guitars, let me just talk about this guitar. It's my nice Ibanez guitar. I do love it so. All right, let me just play some. I am excited to be on the internet talking guitars. And now that I'm going to talk guitars, let me just talk about this guitar. It's my nice Ibanez guitar. I do love it so. All right, let me just play some. So I got a question about what chords should I learn? That's an excellent question. So there are 12 notes in our musical system. There's 7 natural notes, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then 5 notes that sit in between those natural notes. And anytime you combine
I got a question
3 or more notes together, you get a chord. That's an excellent question. So it could be a nice sounding chord without, I'm trying to get rid of a little bit of distortion I have here.
There's
A nice sounding chord like an E.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then 5 notes that sit in between those natural notes.
That's another E.
Anytime
It could be a nice G.
3
or more notes together, you get a chord. So it could be a nice sounding chord without, I'm trying to get rid of a little bit of distortion I have here. A nice sounding chord like an E. That sounds nice. That's another E. It could be a nice G. Be a C. So there are a number of good chords. I would recommend the chords that have their own unique kind of pattern, if you will. So this chord, E, can be used by barring or moving it up the whole thing up a half step. And then again, but you notice the chord pattern essentially stays exactly the same. It's just that our first finger is acting like this nut at the, get to know the E, E major, A major, D major, and you notice they all look a little different in their pattern. G major and C major. So that'd be 5 chords I'd get to know. All of those different chords right there are different patterns that can be used in different places across the fretboard as well. So it's the foundation of learning all the kinds of chords you can play. And again, there's a variety of chords. Do you have a favorite chord, or do you have a chord you're trying to learn? Please respond and I'll try to figure it out with you. There are chords that flatten the 5th and raise the 5th and flatten the 6th, and it's just a wonderful world of chords. So that's just a little blues improvisation, kind of fun to play. Blues is always kind of fun to play. The characteristics of blues are a flatted third and a flatted seventh. You know, I mentioned the 12 notes we have. From 12 notes come 7 notes that form the major scale, and it's actually the major scale that actually forms our ability to play metal and Swedish death metal and all the other things that my parents would be freaked out about me talking about. They're classically trained musicians, or they were. So that's why you'll notice on our website I talk a lot about patterns. The patterns are repeated in all styles of music. So the comments are covered up. Oh, thank you, Olive. I appreciate that very much. You know, I had not ever heard of Alter Bridge. It's funny because there's so much music out there, and you know, I feel like it's endless. I think that's one of the cool things of all the streaming service. You put on a band like Zeppelin, and suddenly, you know, the service is playing like bands. Sometimes they mix it up and play Leonard Skinner, which isn't like Zeppelin to me, but that's okay. That's my opinion. Anyway, but yeah, Alter Bridge is remarkable. The vocals are amazing, and the lead guitar, and their orchestration of stuff. They're putting it together and delivering it live is to be able to deliver songs live to your audience. I don't know if I'll ever have that skill set, but they sure do. So Alter Bridge is a wonderful find, and I appreciate the folks that made comments, maybe like yourself, and wanted us to talk about and react to Alter Bridge. Hey, please let us know what kind of guitars you have, and if you have any questions about the guitars. I do have original songs. Hey, I'm walking here. Can you give me some space? Got a few million steps in this human race. That's the beginning of one. That's called Walking. It's about being a grandpa at 66 and getting a little space from all the youngins out there. Bye, 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 bye. Catch up tomorrow. Bye, 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 bye. If I can borrow your car. So I have some kind of fun rock and roll things, and then I have acoustic songs, which I love to play too. And my goal is actually to write a song for all my grandkids. I have 9 grandkids now, and I plan to write them all a song. So that was my leave behind, whenever I leave behind. So by the way, if you're still studying chords, I think it's really helpful, and you'll find it on our website. You'll see a blank fretboard that you can just download and print out. And it's really important in your musical journey to get to know all of the notes by name on your fretboard. So you know that this is an E, and this is an A, and this is a D, and a G, and a B, and an E, and then start naming, verbally naming all the notes beyond that. So you get to know where the F, there's an F. Those are all Fs. Okay, so I want to take a little time to compare some guitars that we have here in the studio. Now this is a Ibanez, and it's modeled after the lead guitar player, or at least that's his brand, or not brand, but it's his style, Kiko, and then his last name, that I have not learned how to pronounce. Anyway, he plays in Megadeth, and I really like his unique brand of style. I believe he's from Brazil, and he has a tremendous style. And I liked his setup. I liked the way his guitar sounded through his Marshalls or whatever amp he was playing with. But this is a guitar that is probably better suited to metal and speed and even country, anything electric really. But it has some unique and fun characteristics like this Floyd Rose where you can just have fun with the harmonics. So it's got some things about it that make it a really cool guitar, but we have other guitars. We've got hundreds of guitars in our life. You may in your lifetime own bunches of guitars, and you probably will if you keep on your musical journey. In this case, I've got this nice Ibanez, but I have other guitars here. Let me show you a guitar that I've had, kind of my beginning guitar, if you will. Let me put this down for a second. I'm going to step away. I'm not going far. So I have it up here. It's just a nice 6-string cutaway guitar. It's called a Seagull. What's nice about Seagull, excuse me, let me adjust my mic. Nice about Seagulls is they're relatively inexpensive. And I do like cutaways. You'll find that if you watch our reactions and you watch some of our videos, I think every guitar I have now is a cutaway. Oh, except my new Tim Henson model guitar. That is not a cutaway. But, or maybe it is. I just haven't played it enough. But this is an acoustic guitar. It's actually acoustic electric, which means that it's got some stuff inside that we could plug an amp into. We could plug a cord into to plug it into an amp or to a PA or whatever it is, whatever it may be. So it has a good sound. I think this guitar was $500, I think. It was a long time ago. And it's played and it stayed in good shape. I haven't dropped it too many times. What's most important about a guitar you buy, when you buy a little bit, focus on quality of construction, is some things to look at, like how far the strings are away from the fretboard. We don't want them to get too far, because that means we just got to press harder with our fretboard fingers to get the string down. So better made guitars over their lifetime actually get better. The wood matures, and that kind of problem, which happens in other maybe not as well made guitars, doesn't usually appear. So this is a Seagull. I don't even know if it's sold anymore. But there are plenty of good acoustic guitars if anybody's looking for acoustic guitars. So someone asked if I like acoustic or electric. So I find that electric is kind of where I want to live typically, but I can't ever play as fast as, it's a really, not a competitive world. It's just a world where I don't know if I have the skill to play at some of the levels I wish I could play. But I think it just depends on the song. So I have acoustic songs. She walks alone by her wine. She dips her toes in the sand. So it's kind of just depends on the song that you're going to play. And I clearly, like in some settings, acoustic like this is better. Like Christmas time or holiday season where you have to play and you're going to play with your family and you're going to sing songs and all that stuff, and which is awesome. Then having an acoustic guitar is really fun. But I think if I had a choice and I had to only have a certain kind of guitar, I would probably have electric. But guitars are like surfboards. You got to have a lot of them. You just have to tell your parents and partners you just got to have a lot of them. And some people don't understand that you have to have a lot of them, but you do. So that's just how it is. I think at this point I probably have someplace in the 5 to 10 range of guitars, and some are kind of just like leave them out, and I want to be able to have a guitar kind of out. I don't want to put it away every half hour I play it. I want to have it out so I can just grab it and get my fingers on the fretboard so I can keep building finger strength. Oh, and let's just for fun talk about what you can do to build finger strength. We have on our website, we've got this scale pattern called the chromatic scale. And a chromatic scale plays from a low note to a high note or vice versa, and all of the notes in between. So the way it's played, I'm starting from this A, ending in this A. But a great warm-up is to get your fingers in that configuration and then do these things called trills. I'm not picking, I'm just using my fretboard hand. So I got a question about Polyphia. I have not seen a performance of theirs yet. I have seen them in video. I'm amazed at his guitar playing, at Mr. Henson's guitar playing skill set. You know, I think when when someone has played at that level and at that ability, that all you can do is appreciate it. I think also, though, if you think about it, you and I have the same kind of hope that we could, you know, if we practiced 8 hours a day, what would we sound like? Or maybe we practice 4 hours a day, or 3 or 2. But we can get there. I mean, he's using the same 12 notes, but he does have a tremendous skill set playing the guitar. It's remarkable to see and watch. I kind of wish they would add a singer, because then maybe, I always thought like a Joe Satriani, who was a really good guitarist, a solo guitar player, if he joined, let's say, the Stones, the Rolling Stones, he may have been even that much more popular. Anyway, that's just me trying to be a manager. Another thing you can do and see in our YouTube channel is I talk about hybrid picking, and whether you're beginning or along your way in many years in playing the guitar, using all of your fingers. I don't use my pinky when I pick, but I use these guys. My pick in this hand between my thumb and my first finger, and then these 2 fingers too, and that can add. So it can add not only additional notes to what you're playing, it can add a different way to play chords together. But it can actually help you in speed. I did a reaction to a band, I don't recall the name, but it was a very high-speed band. They played very fast. And I thought, well, I can't play with a pick at that speed with a pick, but I can. So I can kind of add to my speed by using these 2 fingers as well. So anyway. The da dee dee da da. Oh, that was just if you're referencing this. That's just an intro that I played for a very, very long time, and I think it was actually like a guitar teacher way back in the 80s showed me some blues things, and I started using these 2 fingers and just kind of crafted that. Oh, the other one. I hope it's this one you mean. The slower riff. Uh-oh. You know, sometimes you play stuff so much on your guitar you don't even know what you played. Okay. By the way, when someone asks a question about chords, this is the chord E. You have 5 primary places on your fretboard to play one chord by name. Here's E. Here's E. Here's E. Here's E. And here's E. So you choose as a guitar player where you play those chords, and if you think about it, all those chord patterns look exactly like the 5-chord patterns I talked about previously, the E looking thing, the A looking thing, C and G. So you can play a chord pattern and a chord at different places on the fretboard. And this little riff, I'm playing the E, and then I'm using my middle finger to change the bass note. And my first finger. So you can do a lot of fun things just staying in the chord and changing your bass notes. That also can be referred to as inversion or inverted chords, where the chord is not the root of the chord, not to be confusing, but if the chord is called E, you'll often see E and then a slash B, and that means you're playing an E, but the bass note is a B. I don't disagree with, I think one of the things that's really cool about music is there's huge fans of Polyphia, and there's huge not fans of Polyphia, and there's huge fans of, there's just so much music out there that's just, it's kind of remarkable. As I mentioned earlier, it's just like, it's unending. And I'm kind of partial to the bands who are doing tough things to play on the guitar. And that's only because I want to keep learning to play unique things. So when they change the key completely different than you might have thought, or they do something with speed metal and then they almost like maybe there is a fusion almost of music. It's really, that's the kind of thing that encourages me. But there's so much good music out there, it's just remarkable. So besides Alter Bridge and Polyphia, do you folks have other bands that you love and you think are similar to or completely different that you love? I wanted to show you a song that came out in the 70s. Oh my gosh, someone asked for Them Bones. Okay, so I was going to play a Led Zeppelin song called Ramble On. And part of the reason I wanted to show it is because it's in the key of E with a flatted 7th and a major 3rd, I believe. But the E starts at a higher register, or higher location. So that's an example. There are plenty of songs out there that don't use E in the same way that you and I see it used very popularly. Okay, let's talk about Them Bones. Them Bones is a song by Alice in Chains. And not only is it a super good song that begins in 7/8 time, and that's that. So it has a really fun intro that creates a lot of drama because it's 7/8 time. And so when you think of timing in music, and you think a lot of songs are 4/4 time, or you hear 3/4 time, or 7/8 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So without it going to an 8, it actually just kind of creates this almost a bit like syncopation. And this interruption is what syncopation means. It's like this interruption to the beat that brings us back and restarts the song. It's a super cool thing. And I fell in love with it by using my 2 fingers as a soloist, just kind of playing it on my own. And then I try to do the melody as I play the bass line. So that song has always been one of my favorites to have fun and play with. So, and you know, you can take any song like I did that with Them Bones. Not trying to make it better or anything, because it's not. The way I'm playing it is not better, and just use it to your style. You know, I'm trying to keep these fingers active, so I will take Them Bones or yes, it probably is better on electric, but it's fun to play acoustically too. But you can take any song like that. You can play Blackbird by the Beatles. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. So, part of the goal for me, and if you want to study with us, that would be wonderful. I try to get the students to always use their other fingers, because it does extend our range and our ability to play different styles. So, and it is definitely, some songs are definitely better on electric. And matter of fact, Alter Bridge played in their song Blackbird, they play that intro from the very, very famous Beatles song called Blackbird. Okay. Listen, I want to thank you all for joining. It's a lifelong dream of mine to be teaching. I wanted to teach theory, I wanted to teach guitar, and I wanted to have people find encouragement and motivation to play. And just like that's happened to me. And so I love the guitar. I'm 66. I don't plan to get out of a band or stop playing anytime soon. And anyway, so I appreciate all the support, and I appreciate your time. I would love any comments you have. You know, we're going to do some more community things. We started something called Discord, which the folks here in the studio know more about than I do, but we're going to be communicating through that mechanism, through that social app as well. So thank you very much for watching, and please keep the questions coming, and thank you again for your support. Have a wonderful night. Take care.